All right, what's happening? We're about to get into some real spiritual understanding, spirit understanding, right? Spiritual education. Because we throw this word spirit around, we throw this word, we're talking about higher self and lower self and all that. Let's get a practical understanding of what all this stuff means. Consciousness, the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. Awake and aware. The awareness or perception of something by a person. Awareness and perception. The fact of awareness by the mind of itself and the world, right? Fact, awareness by the mind of itself and the world. Most people are only aware of the world. They're not aware of themselves and the world. Y'all will see what I mean in a minute. All right, so let's go to the, I got a lot of stuff opened up, y'all. Let's go to conscious real quick. All right, so let's do it. Conscious, aware of, and responding to one's surroundings. Awake. All right, conscious is what? Aware of and responding to one's surroundings. Awake. Having knowledge of something. Aware. Okay, so being aware of your surroundings makes you awake. And having knowledge of something makes you aware. Right? You can be awake and not be aware. All right? So now, painfully aware of, sensitive to. Painfully aware of, sensitive to. Concerned with or worried about a particular matter. Of an action or feeling. Deliberate and intentional. Of the mind or a thought. Directly perceptible to and under the control of the person concerned. Now, the origin of the word means being aware of wrongdoing. Okay? Being aware of wrongdoing. Knowing with others or in oneself. So, it sounds like it's speaking on the knowledge of good and evil. Being aware of wrongdoing, right? And knowing with others or in oneself. All right. So now, let me try to see if I can get to subconscious real quick. Let me just plug it in now. Check this out. First of all, when you say sub, to me that means something secondary, like a substitute teacher. You understand? Or a substitute product. Meaning it's not the real thing, it's the substitute, right? The fake part of you. I wouldn't necessarily say fake, but y'all know what I'm saying. It's a substitute. All right, subconscious of or concerning the part of the mind of which one is not fully aware, but which influences one's actions and feelings. So now understand, it's unconscious, Latin, suppressed, repressed, subliminal. All right, let's keep going. The subconscious part of the mind, not in technical use, in psychoanalysis, where unconscious is preferred. Mind, imagination. Let's see what the origin of it is. No origin. Look at some more synonyms. See, it's the unfulfilled part, the dormant, hidden, concealed, underlying, innermost, deep, intuitive, instinctive, innate, involuntary. So it's of or concerning the part of the mind which is not fully, which one is not fully aware, but which influences one's actions and feelings. So if you're not fully aware of your subconscious mind, you basically live your life afloat on what you see, basically. You live your life based on the conscious mind. You understand? Once you understand your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, then you have consciousness. All right. Now, you have another part called conscience. You guys understand that. Conscience. Now, with conscience, it is an inner feeling or voice viewed as acting as a guide to the rightness or wrongness of one's behavior. All right, it's a guide. You know, it's your moral sense, that still small voice, moral standards, you know, principles and all that. The origin of the word is being privy to, meaning being private. Well, my bad, I'm sorry, I skipped all over a whole definition. Middle English, also in the sense, inner thoughts or knowledge. Via Old French, via Latin, conscientia, proconscient, being privy to, from the verb consider, from con with plus Siri, wow, Siri, meaning to know, or meaning know. Y'all ask Siri everything, huh? So science is Siri, basically. All right, y'all understand it? So now let's get to let me go back so y'all can see where I get this stuff from. Well, we got one more for you. Now we got continence. All right, continence. The continence of a person deals with a person's face or facial expression. Continence is also support. Admit as acceptable or possible. origin. Bearing, like being able to hold something. Behavior. From continua, see contain. The early sense was bearing or demeanor. Also facial expression, hence the face. All right, so now let's get a little deeper. Because I want y'all, I'm showing y'all all this is because this is what's being attacked. The consciousness is being attacked. Oh, I had changed it from let's see. Changed it for subconscious. Gonna get into the ego and all that, but I want y'all to see where I got all these words from. You feel me? I don't just want to put nothing on y'all. Y'all can't see where I got it from. All right. So let's get into conscious right quick. I think it's this part I'm trying to show y'all. Bear with me for a second, people. Maybe the wrong thing anyway. Yep. Wrong one. Let's see if it's concise. I'm trying to find a certain set of synonyms for y'all. So we can go through the ego, the super consciousness, all that kind of stuff. But I want to see what part it was that I got these synonyms from so y'all can follow it if y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? When y'all want to spare time or whatever. All right, let me see. That's crazy because it probably was the subconscious. It was under. Here we go, y'all. Go back. Boom. That's crazy. It was already there the whole time. But it's all good. So let's do it. All right, as y'all can see, subconscious. The subconscious part of the mind. Not in technical use of the psychoanalysis, where unconscious is preferred. All right. But anyway, we got psyche. Well, first of all, we got mind, imagination, self, psyche, ego, superego, ID. All right, the main things I'm about to run through right now is the psyche, the ego, the superego, and the ID. And I might go to the mind, imagination, and self too, just so we just know. Of course, we got our own understanding of what all this stuff means. But let's check it out though. All right, we got the psyche. The psyche is the human soul, mind, or spirit. The human soul, mind, or spirit. All right. The origin of the word psyche means breath, life, or soul, or breathe. I don't know how I think it's breath though. I always get those confused. Breath and breathe, whichever one it is, y'all understand. It's all the same thing. All right. I don't deal with the informal. Y'all can go on your own time and read the informal stuff. All right. So we already see what psyche means. That's pretty deep in itself. All right. So let's get the ego. Ego, a person's sense of self-esteem or importance or self-importance. A person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. All right. Self-worth, self-respect, self-conceit, all that. You know, the I. All right. Psychoanalysis, the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious, and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Okay? So the ego is in the middle. It's the mediator. All right? It's the one that want to do the experiencing and all that. It's in between the subconscious and the conscious. Y'all understanding where they're going with this? The ego resides in the conscious and the subconscious, within in the middle. It mediates. So basically, it's your ego run the show. That's why you got to control the ego. When you say get rid of the ego, it's basically like you just communicating conscious to subconscious. You see what I'm saying? Like boom, boom, it's one. So basically, you suppressing the ego to a certain extent, but you're not suppressing it. But anyway, I don't want to confuse y'all. Let's go ahead and go to the next word. Y'all see, next definition. I mean, y'all see what it mean though so far. So in philosophy, the word ego in metaphysics means a conscious thinking subject. A conscious thinking subject, right? The conscious is the one that's aware, awake. All right. And it literally means I in its origin. Ego is the I. I this, I that, I. Like forget everybody else. It's all about me. You see? That person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Ain't nothing wrong with having a sense of self. There's nothing wrong with having self-esteem and self-importance. The thing is, when you don't respect the next man's self-esteem or self-importance, is where the problem come in at. All right. Okay. And understand that it's in between your conscious and your subconscious. All right. Which they call it unconscious. So now, let's get to the next synonym. Superego. I just go, anyway, superego. The part of a person's mind that acts as a self-critical conscience, reflecting social standards learned from parents and teachers. Understand this now. The superego is the part of a person's mind that acts as a self-critical conscience. Okay? Self-critical conscience. And why? Because it's reflecting social standards, okay, learned from parents and teachers. So, you have a regular ego that's in between, right? That's in the mix, that is the middleman, that already really can't be told nothing. You understand? Now you got a super ego, to where it's basically it's really on lock. You know what I mean? It's like whatever my mama done told me, whatever my teachers told me, that's just what it is, cuz type thing. Feel me? Super ego. Where it's like the truth right in your face and you can't change it. Because that was my grandma said, all right, let y'all see what super ego is. All right, let's get the ID. No ID. All right, ID is the part of the mind in which innate, that means inside, or like, instinctively, well, anyway, innate instinctive impulses. Let me read it again, because they said what I was trying to say anyway. The part of the mind in which innate instinctive impulses and primary processes are manifest. Okay? Read that. Let me read it again. The ID is the part of the mind in which innate instinctive impulses, that means like electrical current, basically. And primary, the first, the main processes are manifest. Okay? So this is going on inside of the ID, this process and all that. And it's saying 1920s from Latin, literally meaning that, translating Germany. So it's basically a new idea, concept that came about in the 1920s. All right. So basically, this sounds like the thalamus to me. The thalamus is the part of the mind where that the chemical where the melatonin and the serotonin kind of mixes in together from the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. But anyway, that's another video. Let me just click on. I don't know what that say. Eat all 50 off. Or you eat all of the. Yeah, something like that. All right, but anyway, let's get up out of here. So y'all see what those mean. See what ID mean. So let's go ahead and click on imagination right quick. The faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects not present to the senses. So they saying the imagination is not connected to the senses. They say the faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects, right? Not present to the senses. You know, the senses is touch, feel, smell, taste, and you know what I'm talking about, and hear. Interesting. All right. The ability of the mind to be creative or resourceful. Of the mind to be creative or resourceful. All right. So, Middle English, via Old French from Latin, imagination, from the verb, imaginare, picture to oneself. From imago, imagine, meaning image. Image. All right. So an image is a picture in one's mind. That's what it is. Picture to oneself is your imagination. Dealing with your vision. You understand? So everything you see is imagination. Based on being a picture to oneself. So out of your eyes, you're looking at a moving picture, literally. When they say life is a stage and all that. But anyway, I ain't trying to lean too right on y'all. Okay. Let's get back up out of here. But just slow rolling it, man. Just putting it in right quick. Or getting it in. All right, mind. The element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experiences, to think, and to feel, the faculty of consciousness and thought, right? It is the faculty of consciousness and thought, right? It is the element of a person. Huh? Element of a person, not the faculty of the brain, right? It says it's the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experiences, to think and to feel, the faculty of consciousness and thought. Understand that now. So you understand what the mind is? It's none of those things. It's not awareness. It's not thinking. It's not feeling. It's not faculty of consciousness and thought. I mean, it is the faculty of consciousness and thought. I'm sorry. It is the faculty. The faculty is something that you hold. But it's not the thinking. It's not the feeling. It's not the awareness. It is the thing that gives the ability to have awareness, thought, and feeling. You understand? The brain. It made me want to click on brain, all right? But a person, mental processes, contrasted with physical action. A person's mental processes contrasted with physical action. You understand? A person's intellect, a person's memory, a person identified with their intellectual faculties, a person's attention, the will or determination to achieve something. When they say mind your own business, be distressed, annoyed, or worried by, have an objection to, be reluctant to do something. Be reluctant to do something. Often used in polite requests, all right, informal stuff. All right, in Scottish, it means remember, take care of temporarily, be inclined or disposed to do a particular thing. The origin, Old English, Gymni, memory, thought, a Germanic origin from an Indo-European root meaning revolve in the mind, think, right? Revolve in the mind, think, shared by Sanskrit, manas, and mens, meaning mind. So men is mind. Manas, the manna from heaven. You understand? Revolve in the mind, think. Yeah. All right. Let's do self. We're going to get out of here. Self. A person's essential being that distinguishes them, or that distinguishes them from others, especially considered as the object of introspection or reflexive action, right? Reflex. Wow. I didn't know I was going to do it. It just happened. A person's particular nature or personality, the qualities that make a person individual or unique. One's own interests or pleasure, used ironically to refer to oneself or someone else. Of trimming or cover of the same material and color as the rest of the item. Self-pollinate, self-fertilize. Okay? In botany, self means self-pollinate or self, what it is using self in it. In genetics, cause an animal or plant to breed with or fertilize one of the same hybrid origin or strain. Cause an animal or plant in genetics to breed with or fertilize one of the same hybrid origin or strain. All right? So, we're animals as well. And they say the same people, same thing. All right? Same hybrid origin. My mother and my daddy makes me a hybrid. My mama ain't my daddy ain't my mama. You understand? But I am my mother and my dad. And all the ones before them, which makes me a hybrid. But okay, let's keep going. Old English, a Germanic origin related to Dutch, zelf with a Z, and German, selby. Early use was emphatic, expressing the sense I, myself, he, himself, etc. The verb dates from the early 20th century, right, in the verb form. That's 1900s. Self as a prefix of or directed towards someone or itself. Okay? By one's own efforts, by its own action. You see? On, in, for, or relating to oneself or itself. The problem most people have dealing with self is by one's own efforts, by its own character. But that's a prefix. When it says self-reliant, self this, self that. You see? Or it could be related to the one's own interest or pleasure. Okay? One's own interest or pleasure. But again, there's nothing wrong with having your own interests and pleasures. Right? It's when you try to oppress someone else from having theirs. It's when you think it's all about you. Understand that. But I think I done ran down all the parts of consciousness so that you guys can understand exactly what's going on. So put the pieces to the puzzle together the way you see fit. Can't nobody see the picture you trying to put together but you. What it look like to you. What your picture look like. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that vision in front of your eyes. Huh? But until next time, I get with y'all. Peace.